Hello, welcome to the wrap-up show with me, Francis Agbachisa Lampard. What a super-sized weekend of Premier League football we've had. Match week 30 of the English Premier League. Manchester United were in action against Liverpool. The young chap Rashford got a brace for Jose Mourinho's Manchester United. It was a scintillating weekend of Premier League football. This show is proudly sponsored by I Belong to Jesus House of Car Parts and Arthrat Studio. Let's now crack on with results of matches played over the weekend. Let's start off with the early kick-off on Saturday. It was Manchester United versus Liverpool at the Old Trafford, and again it was a wonderful game. Jose Mourinho and his Manchester United dominated the first half, and of course 2 goals came from the boots of the young chap Rashford. He scored a brace for Manchester United. Liverpool were so poor in the first half. They couldn't do anything, and in fact the reason why Liverpool were very abysmal in the game against Manchester United, because their main man Mo Salah didn't come to the party. It was such a porous display from Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, and at the end of full 90 minutes it ended 2-1 in favor of Jose Mourinho's Manchester United. And again Liverpool got a cancellation. It didn't come from their own boot, but it was scored by Eric Bailly, an own goal from Eric Bailly. And I've continued with the 3 p.m. kickoffs. It was Huddersfield Town versus Swansea City at John Smith Stadium, and it was end-to-end encounter. It was such a thrilling game against Huddersfield Town this season. They find themselves, they are somewhere 15th position, very bad, and this time around they've got to fight hard to survive relegation. And Swansea City, they are also doing well. They want to survive, but at the end of full 90 minutes it ended goalless, and it was point split. West Ham United versus Burnley at the London Stadium, and of course the London Stadium, it is no longer a fortress. David Moyes, his West Ham United, they couldn't do anything. In fact, they lost last weekend. They lost by 4-0 to Swansea City, and again this weekend too they lost again by 3-0. I don't know what exactly is wrong with West Ham United this season. They are very poor, especially the previous 2 fixtures, week 29 and week 30. So it was very good. It was such a wonderful display. It was a scintillating performance from Burnley, and of course they have done extremely well tonight. They have done extremely well this season, and they are very good, so well. At the end of full 90 minutes at the London Stadium, they beat West Ham United by 3-0. Now let's continue with West Bromwich Albion versus Leicester City, and of course it was one of those games. It ended 4-1 in favor of Leicester City. It was a fascinating game, I must say. Leicester City, they've done well. They've put their chances into play, and they have shoved and hove. They have done everything, and at the end of full 90 minutes they have won by plus 3 points. That was very good on the part of Leicester City, and I'm really proud with their performance. Watching the highlights, they've done extremely well, and again it tells you how formidable they are. It tells you how desperate they are to get themselves off the drop zone, and they have succeeded in that. And without a shadow of the doubt, I think they won't face much problem going into the remaining matches, 8 matches. So Leicester City, kudos, they've done extremely well. Now let's continue with Everton versus Brighton at the Goodison Park. In fact, I was watching that particular game when Rooney missed a penalty, and I couldn't believe the whole thing, because prior to the penalty I was even asking myself, that wasn't a penalty. The referee had it wrong. It wasn't a penalty. So I was telling my friends I was watching the game with friends, so I was just telling them that this thing, it is going to be something else. I think when Rooney will miss this penalty, because it wasn't a penalty, to me it wasn't a penalty, but the referee decided to give them penalty, and at the end of the day, when Rooney was not able to score the penalty, and after full 90 minutes of action, they beat Brighton by 2-0, and I think the Big Sam Allardyce has put a very, very spirited performance. He has talked to his boys, and the boys, he informed his boys about what to do, and they are doing so well. When Rooney let him Benz, in fact, the former Arsenal boy, Theo Walcott, all the guys, they are doing so well. I think they are on course to survive relegation, and I know the Big Sam Allardyce, he's good at that. He will surely do it, and I won't be surprised if Everton survive it. So let's continue with the final game on Saturday. It was a late kick-off between Chelsea and Crystal Palace at the Stamford Bridge. Chelsea were very, very resolute. In fact, Willian, he was such a class. He has done extremely well. I think now Willian is beginning to understand the reason why he needs to score goals for Chelsea this season. The reason why he needs to, in fact, put up a spirited performance so that he can go to Russia 2018, and I'm very sure he will make it, because based on what he is doing for Chelsea this time around, after he comes back from injury, he is doing so well in the Champions League first leg against Barcelona. He was very, very good, and again yesterday he scored again. So I think when Willian, he is such a class, and he is absolutely phenomenal against Crystal Palace. He has done extremely well, and Chelsea, in fact, I think one thing I must say with facts, I think it's high time manager Antonio Conte starts using Olivier Giroud alongside Willian and Will Hazard as the front three, because I think the front three they have put up against Crystal Palace over the weekend, I think they have done extremely well. And in fact, Olivier Giroud was very, very phenomenal. He was very, very resolute against Crystal Palace. I think it's high time manager Antonio Conte decides to start him against Barcelona, proving that he can start against FC Barcelona. I think starting this particular Champions League second leg against Barcelona, I think this second leg against Barcelona, Conte shouldn't start Pedro, because Pedro is not contributing enough as far as the front three is concerned. And Crystal Palace, they were also good in the second half. Roy Hodgson decided to introduce Wilfred Zaha, and he has changed the game. He has made things worse for Chelsea in the second half, even though Chelsea had dozens of chances, but they couldn't pull the ball at the back of the net. In fact, I was watching the game, I saw Olivier Giroud hitting the bar left, right, center, but all the same, he has done well to my expectation. And at the end of full 90 minutes, it ended 2-1 in favor of Chelsea. Chelsea picking the maximum 3 points and going into the Champions League against FC Barcelona. I think it will be a major boost for them. Let's continue with Arsenal versus Watford. Arsenal versus Watford at the Emirates Stadium, and of course Aubameyang and Henry Mkhitaryan were on target for Arsenal. It was a spirited performance from Arsene Wenger and his charges, because the way the fans are hammering them, the way the fans keep talking about them, I think they need to start doing something. And the campaign Arsene Wenger must go. I think it has entered Arsene Wenger, and he decided to win they were able to beat Watford by 3-0. I was not even expecting this result from Arsenal based on the performance they have exhibited against Manchester City and Brighton, but they came back in the Europa League beating AC Milan, and in the Premier League they were able to score Watford by 3-0. That was a thump up. That have played a very good football. all the guys, Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan, and in fact, when you look at their defense, Mustafi, all the guys, they've done well against Watford. Now let's see Bournemouth versus Spurs at the Vitality Stadium, and of course the Vitality Stadium, it wasn't a fortress at all for a club like Spurs. They have dismantled AFC Bournemouth by 4-1, and it was a fascinating performance. It was a very good performance from Mauricio Pochettino and his Tottenham guys. They have done extremely well. They have moved from 4th to 3rd position because Liverpool were unable to beat Manchester United over the weekend. So in that regard, Tottenham Hotspur are now on 3rd position. They have occupied the 3rd spot for now. For now. Seems the Champions League qualification or the top 4 this season, it is going to be very competitive. And the way things are going, I think they've not decided who will make. We haven't decided who will make the top 4 yet, because we've got 8 matches more to go. Anything at all can happen. So it was a very scintillating performance from Mauricio Pochettino and his Tottenham Hotspur against AFC Bournemouth, and after full 90 minutes, it was 4-1. 4 goals in the bag plus 3 points at the Vitality Stadium. Has been another lovely edition of Wrap Up Show with me, Francis Agbachisa Lampard. Join me on Thursday for the game's analytical preview of week 31 of the English Premier League. But don't forget, we've got Champions League on Tuesday and Wednesday. My name remains Lampard. Chelsea will be in action against FC Barcelona, the second leg of the UEFA Champions League. Till then, do enjoy the rest of your week. My name remains Lampard, and I have passion for sports.